Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Safe House. You presents Mulut, a show about what's happened, what's happening, and what will happen in the Malaysian creative arts industry. In the previous recording, I said, okay, there's no technical issues and it's going fairly well. But there was a technical issue, but it only lasted, I think, a good 2 minutes. I just introduced them and then I was like, okay, fuck, I didn't record. But I hope you guys like the revamp of Safe House and the new setup. And I feel like I'm comfortable with this shit as long as everything seems set up before we start. But yeah, just to get the business out of the way, we are a weekly podcast every Monday. If you want to follow us and subscribe on Spotify and YouTube, that will help us a lot. And if you want to support us financially, there's a donation link somewhere in our Instagram bio, where you can, directly be a part of Safe House's growth and what we do. Because next week is going to be Ramadan and Puasa month, and I don't know how much Safe House can really run and operate during that time, but we shall see. So, moving forward for episode 28, I think, I have with me Shufitri and Lyla from Kakiseni.
Hello, hi.
Thanks for the second introduction. Like I said earlier, I don't know much about Kakiseni, but I do know that they are a non-profit organization that facilitates and educates the public on the arts, as also providing arts development for particular individuals who are interested to grow. And I'm not really sure what you guys provide, but we can talk about that later. Yeah. So just to tie in a little bit, what I wanted to get to is that I was scrolling to Instagram one day, and it was just the typical shit that I always do is just look for people, organizations, or things within the Malaysian creative arts, not just for the sake of the podcast, but I just do it because I like connecting with these kinds of people. So I was okay, looking at Kakiseni, and I didn't know that it was it's been how long?
20 years.
20 years, yeah. And that is fucking crazy, yeah, to me, to really see, okay, these guys have been doing kind of similar sentiments to what Safe House is doing, but fully fleshed out. So I was okay, fuck, I really want to talk to them. But I didn't know who to contact, and I didn't know that Kakiseni, which had 40k followers, would reply back to me. And it always happens, those kind of situations. And then the funny part was, I was an Instagram story, I was taking a selfie or something. Anyone knows anyone from Kakiseni, please let me know. And then 2 minutes later, I got a DM from Kakiseni on my private Instagram account saying, "What's up?" And I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
So,
I'm the digital content manager for Kakiseni. So I handle all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the website as well. Yeah.
The funny part is that you guys were following me lah.
Yeah.
That's the funny part. But then now, after some time, I think the most appropriate way for us to really get to know each other, I think, is in the form of this podcast, because it's related, the Malaysian creative arts. Maybe you guys have a lot of insight that I don't know. So you are the social media manager.
Yeah.
And you are the?
I am the vice president of Kakiseni.
Oh, wow. Okay. So can you guys? Yeah, like I said, I'm really new. 101 a bit about Kakiseni and what you guys do and how it's structured.
Okay, so I think we started out in 2001 as a forum, like a digital platform. Because in 2001, this is before
Pre-Facebook.
MySpace, during MySpace era.
Oh, you mean a...
It's like a
message
MySpace.
board.
Yeah, kinda.
Like zaman dulu punya.
Yes.
So it's where all the Malaysian arts community they get to network, and they get to talk about their practices and things like that. And
they get to critique, they get to debate on the kakiseni.com. So kakiseni.com has been around since 2000 up until today. And it serves as a really as a public information where people from all around the world, if they want to come to Malaysia, they would, Kakiseni would pop up first. Arts and culture in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. We promote arts and culture in Malaysia. So it's been around like that. But we also have kakiseni.org, where you can find all of our programs, initiatives. So that is more artist-based, practitioners-based.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in 2009, 2008, our president, Lyla and Yuan, she took over and turned it into a non-profit lah, basically.
What was it before then? Oh,
It
a
was-
legitimate non-profit then.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It was just a
before
listing before this.
Before that, it was more to media. It was more to forums. It was more to articles and reviews.
Right. So primarily Kakiseni started off as like a internet kind of platform.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really was it like also ground level around about meetings or what?
I'm not sure about
The previous era.
but
Yeah.
the one that's been taken over by UN is more on ground. Is more yeah.
It's more
More
community
programs.
based once it turns into an NGO. So that's why like in the platform, in the forum, like kakiseni.com before this, it was really where people, the practitioners come together. Like a forum, Lawyat forum kind of thing,
Faham.
where you reviews and that. So it serves as a space to share and express for the community back then. Yeah.
Okay, like it's kind of cool that like you guys actually kicked off as like an internet platform because macam even nowadays I feel like we in Malaysia kind of lack that boundaryless communication among the creatives, and for us also kita orang were trying really hard to like I don't know, maybe connect the dots and have people communicate or have platforms where people are just like involved with one another but not have to like cross borders macam pergi at different states and stuff like that. But since then korang macam ada like a network of artists from Malaysia that is able to just share.
Yeah, I mean, Kakiseni team members are majority practitioners themselves. Like they are performing arts practitioners, they are visual artists. So the team has changed, but throughout the years, it has been creative and non-creative people building Kakiseni and the programs that we do.
Is there like a goal or objective for Kakiseni in particular?
Or like our mission, or like in long-term goal, short-term
like in
goal.
long term goal.
Long-term goal, I think we want to. Right now, we are working with Southeast Asia punya community.
Okay, it's grown
because,
up. Okay.
Yeah, because we have like a program with ASEAN Foundation, supported by ASEAN Foundation. So what we want to try to do more is like further than Southeast Asia lah. We want to have that collaboration opportunity, maybe with the different embassy, and have our Malaysian practitioners perform in their spaces and those kind of arts exchange ni lah initiative. Yeah.
Is it about exposing or like reaching newer growths for local artists towards
I think we have amazing, brilliant artists, you know, across all form of arts. So the thing is, you know, for them to really make it internationally, they need to have some sort of recognition, which is why in Malaysia we organize the both Cameroonian Arts Awards. So it's kind of like a Grammys kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, so through the awards, they would be they would have more potential and recognition from other production in other countries.
For example, there's this artist. She won the best performer in musical theatre, and then she would want to apply for visa. So those kinds of things kind of reinforce her to get that
visa approved.
Approved, or you know, to study as well.
Yeah, it's more about building those opportunities for artists in particular lah.
Yeah. So basically, how the Both Cameroonian Arts Award, how it works is basically the shows for the previous years. I mean, for example, it's 2021. The shows of 2021 will be judged throughout the whole year, and then we will award them the next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so the judges will come to all the shows that are submitted, and then the next year they will get together and okay, these are the best shows, and then we will announce it.
So
and
it's
then,
like a year-long process.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of like grasp a little bit about the intended objectives but now I'm understanding a bit. It's more about like uplifting particular artists themselves. Like, do you guys also have some kind of objective about the state of Malaysian punya the industry and the scene as a whole? Are there like, I don't know, maybe like specific, but in particular, you guys want it to be a certain kind of way, or instead of just like growth in general?
I think we want to nurture appreciation, because right now the lacking of appreciation is the quite like a big reason why the creative or arts industry in this case doesn't have a healthy ecosystem, doesn't have a sustainable ecosystem. Because when you don't have appreciation, you don't nurture appreciation, you tak ada audience. who will be your potential consumer, your potential buyer, your potential supporter. You know, so for Kakiseni, that is what we always keep in mind through anything that we do, is to nurture that. Yeah.
So audience development is the development of the arts.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you guys do that?
It's a lot of aspects that we look at. We look at education. We look at relationships with the corporate. We look at policies.
Okay. Oh, so it's like very much. It's not like super ground level lah. It's more about like actually systematic and.
On ground, that's when we run our programs.
Okay.
So our programs on ground, kita ada dua. So one is for any art form.
Yeah.
And then another one specifically traditional art like wayang kulit.
Oh.
So these are two different programs.
Okay.
So what we do is we hire professional artists to teach these students, and the students are from B40 communities.
Okay.
So they don't have this access for creative classes.
Yeah, they cannot afford is one thing. And the programs is like 3 months long, 100% free. We provide everything, we pay the artists, we host everything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, now it's all great, honestly. Like, so now I'm just really understanding. And for me personally, like, I'm interested in this shit because I always try to implement things like, you know, I haven't even thought about Safe House yet and like what we do. But it's cool that is the case. But I just want to know how you guys manage to be able to do all these things. Given how big is Kakiseni? How many people do you have inside Kakiseni?
How many do we have?
Right now we have 5 team members only. And how we manage is we multitask a lot of things.
You have 5 people?
Yes.
Before COVID, it was larger?
Not really. 5 people is the constant that it has been for the past 4-5 years.
Serious?
Serious.
Wow, I thought you guys had like at least like 20 people.
No.
How you guys manage to do all of those things?
We do have our sister organisation, which is Women Girls. They are also an NGO, but more on women empowerment.
Okay.
So, and we also have a social enterprise, which is an event company.
Capri Communications.
So, when we need extra manpower, contohnya, especially when we're on ground, they would help us lah. We would, hey, can 2 or 3 of you volunteers to help us once a week?
Okay.
We can turun padang lah.
Faham?
You know,
But it's crazy that you guys are like juggling quite a lot. But I don't like. Is it a very active thing for everyone involved? Like, is it like something that you guys have to be working on every single day, or is it more of a
seasonal lah?
Yeah.
Seasonal.
Oh, okay. What's the seasons?
Okay, for us this year, after Raya onwards, we'll be running 4 on ground, 4 outreach programs until the end of the year with 160 B40 students. That's one thing. And then we have Kakiseni Junior.
We haven't talked about Kakiseni Junior yet.
I mean, like I said earlier, before we started, it's not really to promote. No, but it's great. Like I really appreciate the efforts on that because I don't know, we want to do something similar also. And then I found out Kakiseni Junior. I was just like, okay, cool. But we can talk about like in a little bit later. But like 5 orang, and then you guys do what? Handle 160 B40 people, and it's just
we will
like
hire facilitators lah. Tapi it's still not gonna be that much lah.
So the management will mostly be coming from you guys, and then the actual
we
facilitators.
facilitate.
Okay, man, like no, I'm just like nak angkat barang and all this shit.
Kita orang juga.
Korang juga.
Yeah. For festivals ke.
Yeah, we are the production. When we did festival, everything is we build everything ourselves.
How do you guys do it?
How do we do
Do you guys get paid really well?
No. We get paid on the average like creative people in the arts industry.
Yeah,
we're doing okay. Yeah. But it's really, I think, it's the team members lah. Macam
it's very like enthusiastic, dedicated people.
Yeah, like we personally want to do a lot of things. But in Kakiseni, we get to do it together. And then we have like, support from like all the management, all the people to guide us. But entire energy is like very young. Let's do something crazy.
The management is different.
The management would be me, and then the
okay,
president,
okay.
Yuan, and the
Okay.
partners. So yeah, but they're not involved lah in operations.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
can I know like the management, how many people?
3 people.
And then the rest?
And then just us.
What
Okay,
the fuck
tolak
is
me.
that?
So for yeah.
Oh, okay. I just gila.
We can talk about
No, I
how
mean
we
that's
do
cool.
it.
That's cool because like now we have like what six partners now, and then now it seems a bit more structured, and then we kind of get into the groove of things and how to do things. But like when we first started, we had like 8 partners, and we all macam varying backgrounds in the creative arts. Some did this, some did that, but it was so difficult for us to like pull in the 8 people energy, which is actually quite a lot of people,
Right.
into
That's a
like concerted efforts. You knowing exactly what we need to do and knowing how we can maximize the value from all of it. So it's crazy that knowing that you guys are able to like organize large scale events or upper outreach programs, but with just like 5 people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think everyone has their own things that they do. For example, like Hilda, she's the head of awards. She would be handling all the submissions and all the judges for the awards. And then there's me. I handle the digital content website, and then I will be the one who's going to all the shows. I'm the one who's trying to feel the pulse of the arts. So if, for example, if we're doing like classes, or if we're doing a type of program, festivals or outreach programs, I would be the one who's okay. Maybe this artist will work. Maybe this artist will work. So and then Lyla, she's more of the management side. Yeah, and if she's like the brains, so she would be managing everyone, like it keeps everyone together. And then there's Yaya, our graphic designer, and then there's Kushairi, who is also just assisting everyone. And
The focus lah.
We're-
Focus
yeah.
is the key. Because we're very objective driven. Like before we end this year, for example, like December, we already plan what we want to do next year. So we know what like every quarter, what do we want to achieve, even in terms of the number of following on social media. So everything is planned, and then everything can be tracked. You know, so then macam for me on management side, then I can see from this data, how do I manage? Or is this person about to burn out? Is this person not supported enough? So that's where I come in, when I see how everyone is working.
Who sets out the objectives? Is it like you
Together,
internally?
together as a team, we will set out what does she want to do on his side, what do I want
It's
to do
like
with
an
programs.
annual objective thing, KPIs.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Wow. So you guys really like structure yourself as a proper organization.
Betul, yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
we have to.
Are there certain why you say you have
I mean, in order for us to sustain, in order for us to be able to support other people, we also need to stand on our own. Yeah, we also need to, as much as we want to support other people, the arts community, we also need to support ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does it run on funding, or do you guys businessify the Kakiseni? Well, I mean, I know Kakiseni Junior will be charged,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
have some kind of like a
Processing
transaction
fee.
for that. But like in general, how does it sustain itself?
I think for Kakiseni, what we do, even though as an NGO, we don't accept donation.
Okay.
So when I say that, it means that, contoh, if you have an amount of money that you want to donate to Kakiseni, we would not just take that money. We'll be like, do you want to do something? Are you okay if we put this money in the programs, to run the programs?
Okay.
So because I guess that's what makes us a different NGO lah. We always provide services, even to donation.
Okay.
Okay, and then another thing is, of course, we have sponsors like the both Cameroonian Arts Awards. We have like a title sponsor for that. And then we also apply grants actually. We apply grants with ASEAN Foundation, Maybank Foundation, Cendana, or everywhere that other practitioners are applying grants. We are also applying grants.
Okay, so because I'm assuming you guys get gaji.
Betul.
Because you guys treat it seems like you guys treat it like an actual full-time job.
Betul.
For you to sustain it's through the funding lah. Basically, you
Betul.
funding for the salaries lah.
Yes. So we would know how much we need to sustain in 1 year. betul
Faham.
tak?
And then you target that amount lah.
Yes, yes. And then we work or we find partners lah, sponsor if we want to do festivals. We go pitch for other creative jobs as well. We do like a creative agency thing also lah. When we will provide services. Like a creative agency.
Like a creative agency. I got distracted. But yeah, no, that's cool. Honestly, like I look up to organizations that really like champion the arts, and I think saying something like audience education might seem super condescending at first to like people who don't really understand where we're coming from, but like there is a stark difference about how people value the arts in Malaysia in comparison to like a lot of more developed countries or like cities where people are willing to let's when you say like unhealthy ecosystem, it's mostly because people don't pay or value.
Right.
Mostly it's the economic transaction can. But if people start paying for certain things, then there won't be an issue because it will go around the cycle and then people will.
Yeah, the money will roll.
Yeah, the money will roll, and like the
up,
scene or the industry itself will like grow.
Yeah.
But people don't, and the education has a lot of part to do with the value that they put in.
Yeah.
But is there a specific kind of like message that you need to like tell the public in general? Like, okay, or is it like a little bit more subtle the way that you guys are doing it? Because to me, the way that I deal with people, macam the people who attend gigs here, I should have told them, like, kau kena bayar though.
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll be like, oh, okay, next time I go. But I don't know, maybe there are like different approaches to like really get the message across.
I think if through the people that we have come across our program, like when we tell them why we want to do this, we say that it's not because we want you to be an artist. We don't expect anyone involved in this program to be an artist. But we want art to be able to assist you in your daily life. Because like through arts, you develop creative thinking, right? And then you develop soft skill, you develop compassionate. So all those things comes, and like art is a medium where that could come. So I'm not asking you to be an artist. I'm just asking you to using all these tools to guide you
and
moving
whatever
forward
that
with
you
your
have,
life. Because we teach things like breathing exercises. Macam contoh, if we teach a theatre class, we teach them about breathing exercises and how to control. If you're anxious, this is how you breathe. If you want to amp up, this is how you breathe. So it's for them.
Yeah, not just for individuals, it's also for companies. Yesterday we went to the opening of an art installation, and it was supported by this 30-year-old fencing company. So they just do, the wire fence. So they've just been doing that for 30 years.
Fencing as in the sport or like
the
pagar?
fence, pagar. Yeah.
Pagar tepi highway tu.
Yeah.
Are they Chinese?
Sorry?
Are they Chinese?
Yeah.
This is what, side note, right?
Okay.
I feel like these kinds of sponsors, I do see a lot of them. Like every once in a while, it's a random fucking sponsor that macam does not make sense within the arts world or whatever they're doing. But this is an anecdote, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But most of the time, I see it's like very like particular Chinese companies that do it out of like the love for the certain kind of whatever the arts I cannot give you an example right now.
I think that particular company, they didn't really have any exposure for the arts, basically, and then they didn't have basically the artist when he approached that company, he didn't have Andrew, he didn't have any like relationship with that company at all. So he would just storm into the office and then, this is what I want to do. Do you want in? And then, that basically the guy in the company would be like, should they take this leap of faith? And then it's really refreshing to see that companies really trying to embrace it. Using all their resources for the arts. And then also they have a lot of takeaways that they get from it through the processes that they've done. For example, assembling the artworks, and it's relating themselves with the artworks, even though they don't they've been doing fencing for in the the highway or fencing
Just
dekat,
manufacturer and
Yeah.
install.
Yeah. So after 30 years, they've been doing the same thing, and then tiba-tiba they just take this leap of faith to do an artwork.
Yeah.
That sounds very refreshing and very compelling, lah.
Did anyone from the company, like a rep, speak on their behalf?
Yeah.
The
It was
managing
so
director,
it was so heartwarming to see, and it was so like, oh my god, we need more people.
What did he
like,
say?
he kind of reflected on the artwork itself. In doing the artwork, gives him it reflects on the subject matter, like it reflects on the obstacles that the artwork is about. It's a maze. It's a
Wait,
really
the
big
artist
maze.
was talking, you mean?
The company guy.
Oh.
Yeah, Nick.
Oh, because they were involved in the process of making the artwork.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were involved in building the artwork itself.
and
So
they had challenges like the fans tak muat masuk
Yeah,
venue, so
yeah,
they had to
yeah.
like rip everything apart. And it was done in Melaka. It was fabricated in Melaka for 3 months.
Yeah.
Then sampai sini tak muat.
yeah.
So they have to like figure it out, those kind of thing. And then because it is actually a maze installation,
Okay, now I understand. I thought it was like
it's a maze installation. So if you nak pasang satu benda ni and then you need to sambung, you need to walk all the way
Yeah.
to pasang balik. So those kind of challenges was refreshing to hear from someone.
what did they gain? I mean, advertising je lah kot.
Other than that, it's also
They are actually the sponsor. They are
Yeah.
partially sponsoring the
Yeah.
artist punya project, which is this lah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, in return, as a company, what did they get? I just want.
and it other
Opens
than their branding, it's also it opens up to them realizing, oh, I did this. I can
do
do
this
this.
kind of
I
thing
can
or
do these
different
kinds
other
of
things.
things.
Okay.
And
It's about
hopefully-
exploring their own like whatever they can
Yeah.
offer lah.
Yeah, and hopefully like they could support other artists. They could support.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
They could support more. They could support the arts community lah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and from the outside, people looking in, maybe other companies will feel encouraged to do that, to support the art community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely patronage and like sponsorships are like a big part of like obviously kickstarting the arts. Like I think you would need to be able to have some kind of economic resource to be able to like really provide a platform. If you don't have funding, then you have to provide the funding on the business on your own. Kita orang punyalah susah. We started 6 months before COVID.
Yeah.
And then it's like an events venue. And that's like probably the worst time to start an events venue. And then it was just like difficult for like most of the time because we didn't know we had to close down. It's not a non-essential business. But we were determined to, still provide a platform for the arts because none of us take money from Safe House yet. But so we did the live streams and shit like that. But it was a lot of work for not a lot of payoff, So if you're not like in that comfortable kind of position and you don't have that like backing that we do from Cendana now, then it was just a bit harder for us to like be able to provide the things that we want to provide. And yeah, I think I don't know how it is specifically in Malaysia right now, but I do know like in other countries that companies are really much, or not companies, but like private investors or people who like really appreciate the arts are fine with like dumping in money for installation or exhibition or whatever lah. Do you think that there's a way for us to cultivate that kind of ecosystem in Malaysia?
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, everyone would say it's education lah, but
So, like, in the
education
long term lah.
it would take a long time.
Contoh
for
like
that
one
to
of
happen.
our guests here suddenly becomes a millionaire in like 10 years, then they would that's what I mean.
and also their children and things like that. Yeah. And then there's also maybe policies to really incentivize companies to really support the arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think also artists do play a big role in initiating this relationship themselves. We know that corporate will never be able to fully understand like what we do, what are the returns, right? Because it's intangible most of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try it out because like the exhibition we went.
That
It was a
seems
lot.
crazy though.
Right,
That
it's
seems like
luck.
so crazy that like he would like put okay, I'm just
Barge into the office and
in
then
this
just
company
say,
out of all companies and
exactly.
try like melo ke kali, you know, like a bit more relatable, right? But for us, kita tak pernah ada minta sponsor, like, and that's probably because of that lah, because of the perspective on the corporate.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that artists have to do it themselves.
Yeah.
So that's why you have people who manage the arts to help you with that. But you need to have that one or that desire. Okay, let's try, and then find someone who can help you do that.
Yeah, faham. Yeah. It I don't know like how we can really like establish this kinds of like, maybe I think the long term is definitely the goal and untuk anak-anak kita orang.
Yeah.
But like right now I don't see any possible way. Maybe because like, even for us like Red Bull or Marlboro or like more relatable kind of companies that are involved in the arts because it's their market. Kita orang macam we don't know how to angle it in a way that is like beneficial for them. But what I'm understanding for this artist in particular is that you just do it regardless. And then tengoklah dia nak jawab macam mana. Is that it?
Yes. I mean, there's not just one way to do things, right?
Yeah.
There are 5 ways to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Do all the 5 ways.
Yeah.
That's what we think we should do lah.
Yeah. Have you guys been here before?
I think I've been here before. It was Safe House.
Oh, in Indonesian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty dark. It doesn't have the sunlight.
This is like so bright.
It's very different. We did like a lot of space because like when we just started, it was like a gig space, and then gigs only happen like twice a week max.
Right.
So we realized, okay, this is a 5 days a week waste of space that you have to pay rent for. And dah lah taman tu mahal gila. So we just decided to like move things around a little bit. And like be a little bit more neutral lah. So we had the cafe and the bar and stuff for us to run regularly. But we also have plan on doing like other things, programs that are not just space related. So we feel like, okay, the space is kind of like, kalau ada masalah macam COVID, then you can't run away from it. You have to close down. So we must like, which I commend you guys. Like, you started as like an internet platform. So yeah, what we've actually initially thought, and I don't want you guys to think that kita orang macam copying Kakiseni or whatever, because I really wasn't aware, and I shared to the group also like, oh look, they're doing Kakiseni Junior. But what we intended to do was also develop a network online, like a forum board on Discord, and hopefully over time develop that into a proper resource sharing platform. I guess it could be, I don't know what the right word is.
Creative-ish?
So cult creative, I don't know, like my personal opinion on it is
What is your personal opinion on it?
but anyway, so I'm talking about Discord. Whatever point is, at the end of the day, that was one section. We have a pool of people that we just know, a lot of artists, young artists. We put them all together, and there's a hiring section, there's a collaboration section where people can just communicate with each other and break down that barrier. For the music scene, especially, a lot of kids takut nak cakap dengan these kinds of like big artists or whatever. But at Safe House, what we've realized is that it's so easy for people. Macam yesterday, a kid macam baru habis SPM datang seorang, and then he started talking to everyone, and he was like, oh, we had an open mic, and it was his first time watching an open mic, and he was like, wow, that really moved me to write poetry, and I want to join in the next month or so. And it was really nice to see. But because we like break that macam, I don't know if it's like in other art fields, but like in music especially, there's a lot of like celebrity, so you break that down and then have that in Discord. You can just communicate with anyone you want. We have a lot of talks and stuff like that. And then on the side also, we want to make the space we want to establish like a subscription service, sort of like, is Kakiseni Junior subscription based?
No.
Okay, so we want to do like a monthly subscription based service where we do workshops on a monthly basis at Safe House with like a bunch of different teachers, and they will do it every week. So there's like a couple teachers every week, and you pay one monthly service and you can join any of them. So it goes across the fields lah, like music, painting, all of these
Different art forms
different
lah,
art
kan?
forms.
Yeah.
To really establish this place as like a classroom sort of, and you guys are focusing a lot on the younger,
Yes.
Yeah.
Children.
like, which is basically that also, right? Like classroom based, kan?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, Bapak and Kenny gila. I was like, are they? Because I didn't put it anywhere else, so I'm sure that you didn't get it from us. But I don't know. So how is your system going to be like?
So
Are you guys allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Because it's hopefully we could have it will go live end of the month, end of
This-
April.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, what's going to happen is the parents will they will create their own profile and they will list their kids. Or a teacher will create a profile and they list the students. So and then they will book a class. They will find a class on in the listings, and then they see the class that they want. They pick a session and then they book it, and then the vendor will the artist lah basically will contact, and then they arrange for the class lah basically.
It's like Grab food, but where you find
Oh, it's like
artists.
one-on-one.
Yeah.
Depends on
Depends.
the teachers lah. Depends on the educator.
Okay.
Arts educator.
Okay. But it's like based on a demand service. So,
Yeah.
okay.
So, for example, you want to do your workshop, like aside from promoting just on your site, you can enlist it on Kakiseni Junior, and people can also buy your classes on Kakiseni Junior, and money will go to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. How is it? How is it going to be on the website, on an app, or what?
website.
Yeah, it's on the website, but for artists who are the creative educators, it's up to them where they want to do the class, when they want to do the class. They get to decide if it's physical or online.
Yeah.
It's up to them how they want to do the class. We're just giving them the tools to manage, giving them the tools to do the transactions.
Yeah. Just the
Yeah.
middleman,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Just a platform there lah.
Yeah.
You use lah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I like it. I like it. It's about, I mean, I don't know how extensive it will be, your catalog of teachers and how.
Right now
We're
we have.
building it. We
And
have
you guys are
about
open to
70.
anyone, can? Yeah, I saw in your
Yeah.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
bio
Yeah.
thing is like, just sign up if you
Yeah,
want to
just
be
sign up.
Yes. Yes. As long as you boleh feel all, it's like Airbnb experience.
Yeah,
As long
yeah.
as you can feel all the details that we need, like your, your CV, so that parents can trust you to
Okay.
teach their children kind of thing. It's
Yeah,
fine.
just
That's
not
all.
tanya your criteria. So what would the criteria be? Just that, just have provide your CV.
I think the criteria would be what's the criteria? It's
Criteria
For the
is like the
teachers.
company profile.
Yeah.
It's a
For the teachers.
the
For the
teachers.
teachers, they have to have experience conducting, not for children specifically, but they have experience doing classes lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it's their first time, we would be able to help them macam navigate it better. Because we do want artists to be able to do it if it's their first time juga. So what matters to us is whether the artist is able to commit lah to teaching this, because you will be reviewed. Parents can review you, you will be rated on kakiseni.com. So I think that is just unspoken. People know if they provide a service, it has to be a good service.
How do they get compensated? So the parents pay the artist directly.
Yes.
Oh,
So-
you guys don't get a cut.
No, we have processing fee. So when you check out, when parents check out,
Okay.
it will be your price that you put yourself.
Ah.
You have no say in the price of your class. And then it will be a 15 ringgit processing fee
Okay.
for the program, outreach program. And then, yeah, you will get the money.
Fuck.
That's it.
That's cool though.
Yeah. Yeah, you can be
Yeah.
on it.
Boleh? I mean, we have to set it up. We haven't. I'm looking for the teachers, and like I guess the philosophy is that you don't really have to have so much like qualifications to be able to teach art. Like
Yeah.
you break that barrier, because like if then you expect kids who have money to go to university for arts to learn arts, and then it's just too much of a stumbling block or like an obstacle to learn the value of art when it could be quite simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
really not that hard. And in the way that we're doing it right now, that's why we're not really taking people who are like qualified teachers or qualified artists. I don't know if you can say qualified artists. But people around Safe House who are like, I mean, at least kita gonna start with some kind of like influence
Betul.
people so that it'll attract people. But that's it. That's our criteria for the time being, is that you are a creative person. you're doing well at what you do, and then I mean, I guess somehow people know you just to get that initial kickstart.
Yeah.
But though we want to provide that service relatively affordable for most people to be able to access, and you can go to any different class and just be encountered with these experiences that these people have that they just might not have because they're malu nak cakap lah, apa semua, all these things,
Faham. I think if you are teaching something, senang je. As long as you know what is the learning outcomes for your students, then you can teach. Yeah.
We've been planning for Kakiseni Junior for almost 5 years already. Yeah. So and then now it's like, okay, now we have the support that we need. We have the money that we need.
The people are ready. The consumer are ready.
Oh, you guys wait for the consumers
also
to
because if you launched Kakiseni Junior 5 years ago,
it's gonna be different.
People will be like, what is this?
Seriously?
I don't get it. Because that's before like a lot of online things happening, Now people are digitally better. Kan?
COVID also, everyone's online.
Exactly. So in terms of timing,
You think
Alhamdulillah, it all comes together like this year for us.
And I hope that it's gonna create a new kind of conversation of education in the arts community.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to be part of that as well. Sebab macam it's unconventional the way I already told them, like it's not good for us. It's not going to be 101 like how to use this software or how to mix colors. It's more about like these certain kinds of experiences or insights, let's say insights of our artists. Because in Malaysia, it's not this copy paste is like US or whatever. As an artist, you wanted to make it doing what you do a bit differently. And there's always going to be some sort of like theoretical approach that's a bit nuanced with Malaysia, contextualized and all these other things.
Yeah.
I guess it's a bit different from Kakiseni Junior because you're like targeting children. We are targeting mostly like 18-year-olds and above.
Okay.
And to approach it in a more insightful way.
I totally get it. Yeah, I think that's great. I think macam with the practitioners across all art forms, I think it's good when everyone realize the role they are playing. Like macam, okay, maybe for Kakiseni, we like really school children. And then for Safe House, it's like the young after post school.
Yeah.
And then other people take on developing different things. So that's what's going to make our environment better lah. Yeah.
How do you guys see it like right now? So you talked about the timing, right? And I do have a slight opinion about the Gen Z. What is it now? The youngest one, Gen Z lah.
Gen Z about, scares me.
But like what I see is that the involvement with social media and like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that is such a way for them to develop their creative thinking skills so much. Branding is like number one.
Yes.
And that's a creative thinking skill. You want to express yourself as an individual apart from other people, and all these things kind of macam stimulate this individualistic kind of thinking, which I think is what is so right timing right now. Sebab the younger crowd generally understands creativity in general. You don't really have to tell them what it is. But like you said, 5 years ago, it might be a bit different.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think we are on the right track in Malaysia. Tapi okay, so now my other criteria, I guess, is like, okay, now you covered like the demographics, and then what about the urban/rural areas? Like, do you guys have a focus on in particular, or is it mostly for urban areas?
It's nationwide. It can be worldwide as well. So we want to have artists around the nation, around Malaysia, to really like, they can do classes. Okay, sure, you can put your classes on Kakiseni Junior, and then they would be the one who's teaching that area. Or if they're doing online, they could reach to the whole world. Yeah.
Right. But there must be that supply of teachers on those areas lah.
Betul.
But that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Like, how much is your reach in Malaysia now within the like rural communities? Ada ke?
I mean, for us, we don't have the capacity to do that yet. Or like, as long as we've been in operation, we have no capacity to to do that. But we are aware macam in other states like macam Penang, there is arts ads who work with the local businesses to teach cultural things to the kids, you know, and they work with corporate partners. So we are aware, but I think even for us, we are struggling in the urban area. The disparity within the urban area is also already so jarring, you know, and as much as we want to be able to help everyone, it's unrealistic.
So the first step is the urban areas first.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
Okay. Is that particularly KL lah? You guys are based also in KL kan?
Yeah, but for our festival, which is the other festival, it is in Ipoh. So it has always been in Ipoh since 2015. It's an annual festival.
Ipoh pun ada a bubbling scene juga
Oh, they're great now. I mean, in 2015, it was about to start. So we kind of like, we work with Project Rabah, we work with Wani Ardi when she was
yang
there.
apa? Lumut dekat Lumut
Lumut is a different one. Tu by Port Ipoh.
Port Ipoh.
So yeah, they're great. Ipoh now memang lit so great. We love Ipoh.
I haven't been there so long. Betul lah, like for you're right. Like even for us, like say for to establish ourselves as like a facilitator or like a platform. Kita orang nak reach the people in KL pun macam fuck. You know, there's so many different kinds of people, and we're trying to expand and not just Malays. Obviously, we want to expand to like a lot of everyone, and then the different age groups. And sometimes we sell alcohol, and it's like.
Yeah. Understand.
So there's a lot of layers and stuff like that for us to like be able to really be accessible and neutral as a platform.
Yeah.
And then we speak in English. Most of us are. So how do you guys do approach things? Is it mostly in English?
No. I think when we are on ground, we can, even though it might sound a bit weird, kita orang boleh cakap Melayu lah.
No.
With the kids, because I mean they are like B40 students. You cannot expect them, but not all of them don't understand English. So if we campur diorang okay je. But it's important if you are communicating, you speak their language if you want to get your message across.
Betul? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just assume because it's a general assumption because I can't really say who speaks what language.
Betul.
But for me, like there's always that like difference with who can you reach out to the most with which language.
Betul.
You know, like can you reach out, like for me I feel like at least around people around the 20s or the teenage years, if you're non-Malay, you're more inclined to speak English. This is what I'm understanding, at least in the urban areas. So for us to reach out, you know, to the necessary demographics, that's what we try and establish first lah. But maybe it's different for like really younger children.
Betul. And I think it's okay. Like you should just whatever you can do in your capability at its maximum potential, then just do that. You know, you don't have to. If you cannot say be betul-betul neutral, then it's fine.
Yeah.
You have a different purpose, so it's fine. Yeah, do you?
How's your presidency things? President, what did you call her?
President?
No, how's the lead? What did you call it?
The president.
President.
The
How
president.
does your presidency thing? Is it she or a he?
It's a she.
Does she have a
man.
specific particular direction or like something that makes her less neutral and things that directs the direction of Kakiseni a certain way?
I think Ngayuan has always been driven by impact. She memang just about impact. And she herself, like, she really sees everything as an opportunity.
Yeah.
So, which is why we are able to, multitask as we have 8 hands kind of thing, because she thrown us into experiences, but at the same time guide us. So, she is someone that is driven by that impact and then people, opportunities. That's her. So, that's how, for Kakiseni, that's how we also see things. What can be an opportunity? And if we don't have an opportunity, can we create our own opportunity?
Yeah. That sounds, I do. I mean, the way that you guys are doing things, saying how you guys do things, because I'd never really seen firsthand the thought. And I don't know, maybe you guys want to do something here, because you guys just moved out.
Yeah.
We just moved out.
That
from
seemed like an
our
emotional
office in
experience.
PKK.
So emotional.
Yeah.
Kenapa? What happened? COVID?
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mahal
we couldn't-
sangat rent.
It's not, I mean, we are also, Pusat Kreatif, who was our previous building owner, they have been gracious. They has offered us macam, at a lesser rate
Where
for
where
us.
was it? Pusat Kreatif?
Kat Tuanku Bainu, Taman Tun, at Taman Rimba.
Oh, it's right over
Maybe,
there.
yeah. Maybe side. We were just there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then the events all got cancelled. I mean our project of the year all got
Your
cancelled, and
plans.
like it's just doesn't make sense for us to have a space when we don't really have anything going on. And right now we are quite productive working from home. And once a week we would go to library Taman Tun to work together.
No, nice. So you guys are actually apa still going strong lah beside the office. I think that's what a lot of people realize you got during MCO is that there's nothing wrong with working from home.
But
I mean now
I
like
enjoy
in
working
this,
from
in
home.
this I like working from home too. So sekarang my office pun macam because now you can go back and then now they realize like actually you can save a lot of money by not going to work. But it's still going the same way. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
But unfortunately we kind of depend on having like a space because kalau kita orang turn this into an office, it'd be too big of an office and too empty. But yeah, hopefully for us it turns a bit around lah. I don't know how it will be like, but would like to see you guys more here as well. Maybe we can be involved with certain things. You guys can do any of your Kakiseni events here. We'd be definitely down for things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we done?
I tak tahu.
I don't know.
We're at 51 minutes. But it was nice. It was nice really kind of like understanding really where you guys are at and how you guys are doing things. It's definite for me. I don't think that you're not ground level or like based on that conversation. It does seem that you are directly in contact with the people that you want to educate.
Yeah.
Which is cool to see. I don't think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people say that they want to do things,
Right.
and then they don't.
I mean, if you're on ground doing things, you won't have time to say
Betul.
anything. I swear to God. It's
I don't know, just like
tired.
places. I'm a bitter person and I'm very vocal, but I don't know, that might be the appeal of the podcast you got. So every once in a while I say some shit and then they're like, oh, like Rex. Fucking hate that place.
Yeah,
Because
what?
it's like, it's such a landmark. It's like a cultural landmark. It used to be a cinema in the middle of KL. And then, what is it now?
What is it now?
Yeah, I don't know. You guys haven't been?
Yeah, I have been.
Yeah, and I mean I don't know. It's most of the time it's barren. Like it's not actively going on. I wish that such a culture because they want to angle it as a creative-ish space. I feel like you guys are holding back certain things. Yeah, like they want it to be like a creative space, but most of the days it doesn't seem like it. And then once you enter the parking lot, ground floor, whatever they have, the gerai, it's so expensive that like no one can really. I mean, you filter out a lot of people already, and the people that do come are not necessarily people who want to be involved in the creative scene. They're mostly just trying to have a good time and party and stuff, like people who used to go to Changkat and stuff. And I don't know, like for me, it was a missed opportunity lah. That it really could be some more of a hub.
Yeah.
Also like some other spaces like some other spaces.
Like?
Okay.
Like?
Ni pancing.
Like?
Like other places they claim to
Okay.
be like cultural creative hubs, and then it turns out to be more of a mall instead of you know what I'm talking about. We have friends there, so I can't really say right now.
Okay.
Zongshan.
I knew it.
Yeah, I just tak boleh lah, because like this is why I talked about the direction and the goals and the way the more about like methodology, how you guys actually approach things, and it does seem that it's more concrete, and like Kakiseni Engineer is definitely one of those innovative examples of innovative ideas and implementation that connects the dots, actually provides platforms, like you want to educate people, you find educators who can educate, and you don't make that process difficult,
Yeah.
and you connect it to the consumer immediately. There's
Betul.
no
Betul.
hanky panky. I mean, I don't know. The only thing would be the credit card transaction online lah, I guess, right?
No, it's sorted.
Yeah,
Everything is sorted
everything
on the
is-
platform.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have to have that access lah.
But honestly, I feel that maybe they, some those venues or hubs, they may not find, they have not found that system that works for them yet.
Yeah.
To sustain first,
Yeah.
to
To sustain,
Yeah.
to
first,
build, to build an audience for that space, to
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know how Rex is, but I definitely know. I know that Zongshan is like individual companies or organizations
Tenants,
or
yeah.
attendants are.
Yeah.
So they all have different directions and they all do things differently. I think that there should be a little bit more regulation on the. But it's government subsidized, kind like that place is supposed to be intended for cultural arts and purposes. Maybe that there should be like some kind of the thing that pissed me off the most. I don't know if you guys have been there recently. Was that dekat bawah to where Anatomy used to be? I like Anatomy.
I've been there yesterday.
I like Anatomy, by the way. But where Anatomy used to be is now a Remedy. Did you see that? The ground floor, the facial,
okay.
the skincare shop. And I stood there for like 5 minutes because I failed to understand what was cultural or artistic about a skincare shop. And I was just like, okay, cool. ... And I turned around, and then the food court is going to be turned into a similar cultural plus artistic hub.
Okay.
I don't know what it was specifically. Ada DBKL punya sign in. I was like, I don't know. Maybe DBKL was like, oh, okay, this actually makes us money, and that's why we want to actually do it more. But as a space in itself, it's hard for me to understand what is the actual implementation and what you guys are actually doing in order to accept all kinds of people and not like filter out so much. The money, the intimidation factor, where it's just like, fuck, I might not be able to afford to just like hang out here.
Yeah, I think we have to admit there is exclusivity in the art scene.
Yeah.
Like that wall that because you cannot afford, for first and foremost, that is already macam, oh, I don't deserve to be here, I don't belong here. But when the most important thing is like with arts or culture, like everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's why you have to provide access. And if you have a space that anyone could come, why, like, I mean, for me it's like, are you trying your best to make sure everyone can enjoy your space?
I agree. And that's a question that I feel like we should be a bit more active also as like people who understand it. Educators are like, that's what we want to do, right? It's a simple question. Like you said, what are you doing to really do what you say you want to do? If you say what you are lah. You know, and then if we question these kinds of things a bit more vocally, I don't know how Kakiseni views things, because you guys are a bit reserved about your personal opinions, is what I've understood.
Off mic. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like for me personally, I'm very vocal about things like that, and it's just like, come on, if you can make it as neutral as possible, why not? It doesn't hurt your business too much. You can businessify it, like us. We've been trying really hard to like get all kinds of people of all walks. People dah naik bus dah batang kali lah datang nak tengok show kita and stuff like that. Stuff like that. It's just what says, okay, for us, okay, at least we're reaching out to the people we want to reach out to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think reaching out to children in particular is definitely one step ahead of us, because we don't know how to deal with children.
Yeah.
Because that is like another fucking layer of thought into it and planning, I guess. But yeah, so like for me personally, I appreciate Kakiseni, and I think for Safe House, it definitely serves as like a blueprint of what we also want to be lah. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate the insights, and you guys can catch us on YouTube if you guys want to watch this episode again. But yeah, thank you very much. That was Safe House Presents Mulut episode 28. I was with Shufitri and Lyla from Kakiseni. Like I said, we are accepting donations. Unlike them, if you guys want to support us, we have a link in bio somewhere in there. What's in next week? Might not be able to run events. And you guys know what we're about. Blah blah blah. It was a long, lengthy discussion. Thank you very much. See you next Monday.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.